Hello again. As I'm sure most viewers know, I am not in the least opposed to Islam. However, I do not want to see it given preferential treatment in this country. That is quite another matter. So it was that when somebody got in touch and told me that his pension was described as Sharia compliant on the paperwork, I thought it slightly odd. I mean, why would you want or need such a declaration in Britain unless you were actually a Muslim or employed by a Muslim? This is a pension involved for British Rail, by the way. It sounded weird. I did a bit of digging around and I made a few phone calls. Posing as a Muslim who wanted to start a pension and was just checking that the pensions that the companies were offering were Sharia compliant, and soon discovered that every pension provider to whom I spoke was Sharia compliant. It's a bit rummy, no? It appears that this process has been going on for some while now, and it's not only pensions either. Becoming Sharia compliant is an increasingly popular concept in Britain. The business with pensions is being driven by the fear of legal action. Many Muslims don't pay into pension schemes, and it is claimed that this is because there are religious prohibitions relating to financial matters for devout Muslims, and that any funds they contribute towards must not invest in alcohol, for example, or lend money at interest. People with such religious scruples are, of course, able to make arrangements for a pension elsewhere if they wish. But if the company for which they work operates a pension policy which Muslims cannot take part in, is this religious or racial discrimination? This is the claim being made regarding Uber drivers, many of whom are Muslim. A legal action is being planned which will see Uber being sued for religious discrimination because they don't offer employees a Sharia compliant pension. According to the Chartered Institute of Payroll Professionals, and I give a link in the description to this video to a piece of theirs on the subject, not offering a Sharia compliant pension to workers could breach the 2010 Equalities Act, because it indirectly discriminates against Muslims. Elsewhere it is suggested this could also be an instance of racial prejudice, most Muslims in Britain being of Pakistani or Bengali origin. Now, without wishing to sound pejorative, all this sounds raving mad to me. I have known Christians who regard the Sabbath as being sacred, and they wouldn't dream of working on a Sunday. For that reason, they avoid jobs which might require this. In the same way, I have known very devout Jews who are fanatical about keeping kosher and so on. I rather doubt such a person would get a job at a shop which involved handling ham sandwiches. This is all so obvious, and we have taken the principle for granted in Britain for centuries, that a person may be whatever religion he or she pleases, but it's separate from his day-to-day life. Don't want to work Sundays? Don't get a job which involves that. Don't want to handle pork? Fine, avoid that kind of work. Want a pension scheme which is in tune with your religion? Hunt about for one for yourself. But wait, having a pension which is in accord with your religious practice is now seemingly a right for Muslims. Well, it isn't. I'm afraid they must just take their chances along with the rest of us. I have religious beliefs and practices of my own, but I've never expected any employer to cater for my needs. Why would I? This is one of those trends, like the imposition of halal food on an entire school, workplace or old people's home. It looks very much as though catering for Islam has now moved into a different position than catering for Christianity or Judaism or Sikhism or any other religion. This is plain wrong, and we need to do a sharp about turn on such a way of thinking.